Evening, welcome as always to highlights of the Vanarama National League, or as it will be until the 9th of November, the Vanarama National League, with a month of support once again from the league for Prostate Cancer UK, hence the badge on the lapel. We'll start tonight's roundup with the team that were top in midweek, Bromley, unbeaten thus far this season, top after an excellent win against surprise package Woking. Could they maintain that unbeaten start though with a difficult trip to inform Yeovil? Here's the first of our roundups.
Barely 2 minutes after kick-off, the hosts Rhys Murphy clashed with Bromley goalkeeper Mark Cousins, and the nasty innocent coming together resulted in paramedic involvement, an 18-minute delay, and both players being subbed without a spare keeper on the bench. Centre-half Chris Bush replaced Cousins. This goalkeeping issue didn't immediately deter the Bromley attack. An Alfie Doughty free kick was turned in by Michael Cheek, on target for the Ravens for the 7th time this season. During 19 minutes of first half added time at Hewish Park, Lawson Daft provided for Jimmy Smith, who equalised. Bush had managed almost half an hour between the posts without conceding. It was then deep into the second half before the Glovers got the better of Bush once more. From a Craig Alcott cross, Mark Anthony Okoye ended up putting the ball past his own defender, 2-1 to Darren Sarle's men. 3 points were confirmed for the home team via a free kick taken by Carl Dickinson, finished by Charlie Lee. Professional Yeovil make it 7 victories in succession.
I think we restricted them to, it was 2 set plays in the end that beat us with. We should have done better from. But yeah, when you lose your main keeper and you put in a centre half in goal who's never been in goal before, it's going to be an uphill battle.
After Woking's last 4 clashes at home to Boreham Wood had ended goalless, Kane Ferdinand netted from a corner in Surrey just 10 minutes in. With moments to go before the interval, Luke Garrard's men responded. Tyrone Marsh provided for Kabongo Shimanga, and the National League's top scorer made no mistake, beating Craig Ross to net a 9th of the campaign. Right at the start of the second period, 9 became 10, with Woking unable to clear in the danger zone. England's C international Shimanga has 6 in 5. The visitors did have to contend with a nervy finale following an awful foul on Toby Edser, but even with a straight red for former card Mark Ricketts, Boreham Wood make amends for Notts County midweek. With half an hour gone in Cumbria, onto a through ball, Dior Angus was taken out by Maidenhead's keeper, the Fulham loanee Tay Ashby-Hammond, penalty given. For the 3rd time this week, John Rooney bagged from 12 yards, also moving in front of Scott Quigley on 8 goals for Barrow so far this season. The other side of the break, the Bluebirds struck again as Ollie Dyson found Quigley, who drew level again with Rooney. Barrow, meanwhile, have won 5 on the bounce for the first time since 1968. With half an hour remaining in North Wales, Sean Pearson was dragged back in the box by Ayo Obelei, penalty to Wrexham. On as a sub, Bobby Grant was denied the opener by Jordan Holmes, then denying himself the opportunity to follow up. But right after Grant's failure, another of the Dragons' replacements did more than all right. Paul Rutherford earning Wrexham a much-needed first win in 9, pleasing caretaker manager Brian Flynn.
On a personal note, I'm obviously very disappointed and sad for Brian, because we're good friends, and when something like that happens to a new manager, it's difficult. But spoke to him quite a few times, and his message was, "I hope you do well today. I hope you can get a result," and that's what we've done. Boring 1-0. I'm happy with that.
Well, Wrexham back to what they used to do so well. Obviously, nice to hear that Brian Hughes passed on his good wishes to Flinney for today. Chris Hargreaves, by the way, alongside me, if you were wondering. Well, we should start the chat, though, with a speedy recovery wish to Mark
Yes.
Cousins, the Bromley goalkeeper. It sounds like has damaged a number of ligaments in his shoulder as well as been concussed in that nasty incident.
Yeah, it looks like it's a bad dislocation, and it looked a bad one, didn't it? And it ended up being a very long day for the person who had to go in goal,
Yeah,
because
Chris Bush, the centre-half.
Yeah, it's a gamble. A lot of teams don't do it. A lot of managers don't put a sub-keeper on the bench.
I haven't got one on the books, Bromley. No
Well,
goalkeeper.
no, I know it's
to talk to
surprising.
somebody
It's
about next week.
surprising. Yeah, it's surprising with how well they're doing, but it's obviously their decision about that. But we wish him a speedy recovery. That's for sure. And when at least someone's got the bottle to go in.
Yeah.
But it looked with some of the goals like it was a bit too much to ask for 80 minutes.
The loopy third header
Yeah,
suggested
yeah,
that he
I think
wasn't
so.
someone
I
that
think
spent
so.
a lot of time in between
No,
the sticks
no.
with respect. And Yeovil, what a run of form they're on.
Yes, they are. I spoke to Darren about 2 weeks ago, perhaps a bit more, and he was saying that great bunch, really happy with the lads, we'll get it together, and it's been brilliant. 7 wins.
Yeah, absolutely. Steamrolling.
Yeah.
Although Bromley obviously remain top despite the defeat, their first defeat of the season. Wrexham, I think let's have a quick look at the Rutherford goal because it's worth another look. It's a peach.
Well, it is. It's a goal that'll grace winning any game. And talking about the both experienced managers or players, people in football, should I say, that is a brilliant goal. I have to say that it's a brilliant goal, but it doesn't work like that sometimes. You struggle. Yeah. Someone comes in, the players suddenly get a spike, and then they go and win it. You can't make sense of it, can you?
Well, managers, mate, who'd be one? We obviously will inform everybody when we and the club know whether there's a new permanent manager in place. But speaking of goal scorers, Kabongo Shimanga, a lot of league clubs thought they might have a look at him. He's gone from Oxford City, obviously, to Boreham Wood. And he
was on the radar.
10, I think, for the season.
Yeah, that's right. He was on the radar. Almost 40 goals for Oxford City, and it's the poacher's goal as well as this one coming up. Really impressed with it. It's a flash finish, just suddenly gets onto it there, bang in. And you have to say that if he goes and does that in this league, as Macaulay Bond did, you get your chance. Macaulay Bond scoring for Charlton today in the Championship. So if you score at this level, people will start taking notice. Yeah.
Are you suggesting he might not be at Boreham Wood for that long the way he's going?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. If he starts, if he keeps scoring like that, that's for sure.
Yeah. On we go to a team that's, when it's good, very good for Torquay. Obviously, Chris's old club. Bit inconsistent of late. I wonder if they would have a birthday present for Gary Johnson, the boss, who turned 64 today. They are at Stockport, and that's our next stop.
First up, two sides both in need of 3 points, with neither having won in their last 3. Torquay took the lead from the spot after they were awarded a penalty. Turnbull's shirt tug on Cundy penalised. Up stepped Jamie Reid, who slotted the penalty home to kickstart an eventful first half. The second for Torquay was the first of 2 own goals, a dangerous cross from Whitfield on the right, coming off Arthur to make it 2-0. Next came 2 goals in 2 minutes. First, Whitfield's cross again causing problems for the defence. This time, Stockport's Jordan Keane putting it past his own keeper. And just moments later came the fourth, Jamie Reid getting his second after this 40-yard run to take his tally to 9 for the season so far. With all the goals coming in the first half, some Stockport fans had seen enough. As their poor form continues, that's now 5 defeats on the bounce as Torquay pick up their first win in 4. This game saw 2 sides come face to face for the very first time, and it was Notts County that opened the scoring. Wes Thomas turned Jameson to fire in at the near post, Thomas with just his 3rd goal for the club on his 400th league appearance. Notts County made it 2 with 10 minutes to go in the second half from a corner. Damien McCrory's powerful header, leaving the keeper rooted to the spot. For Notts County, that's now 3 wins in 3. Limited chances for both sides in this one, but Barnet thought they had taken all 3 points on the 80th minute via Alfie Pavey, but the goal was disallowed for a handball. Goalless in this one, both sides sharing the points.
At the CNG Stadium, it was Sutton that thought they had opened the scoring in the 15th minute, but the ball converted from this cross was ruled out for offside, Sutton denied by the flag of the linesman. Harrogate opened the scoring, George Thompson picking up the pass from Alex Bradley to coolly slot the ball home to give his side the lead. Thompson scoring in just his second start of the season. In the second half, George Smith brought down Aaron Jarvis in the box to give Sutton a penalty. Up stepped Jamie Collins with the chance to get Sutton back into the game, but he was denied this great save from Belshaw low to his left-hand side. Another penalty, this time going the way of Harrogate after a foul from Butler. And Jack Muldoon converting to secure all 3 points and a third consecutive home clean sheet for Simon Weaver's side.
Well, it was the perfect birthday present for Gary Johnson. Jamie Reid, a player you know well, looks full of confidence.
He does. Yeah, really good. The momentum that he got from last season has showed no bounds this season. Penalties, free kicks. We've seen him score some brilliant goals, and this one here, just a bit of strength there. And when normally he might have just laid it off and tried to get in the box, he's just so positive. What a brilliant goal. A fantastic away performance from Torquay today. We may have got our tips for the title wrong, but
I gave up on those weeks ago.
We've got our long shots okay at the moment in Bromley and Torquay respectively.
No, that's a fair shout. Nice birthday present for
Yes,
Gary.
yeah.
That said, obviously disappointing run of form for Stockport after a very good few weeks. I don't know quite what's happened there.
Well, I know. I think, as we said today, sort of chats in the changing room. I think there'll have been a pretty stiff few words said after that game because big expectations. It's a big club for this level, and losing 4-0 at home is tough to take. But back to the drawing board, I'm afraid that's all you can do.
Yeah.
Start working hard on the training ground and turn it around.
Yeah, those two teams obviously came up from respective National League South and North last season. Big win for Torquay. A point's okay for Solihull, given that they're trying to turn around a bad run of form, but might have been worse. Barnet had a goal disallowed today.
They did,
for a handball here at the far post, which is hard to see from these angles.
Yeah, I mean,
referee seems sure and books Alfie Pavey, I think it is, but inconclusive.
I'd say
can't really see.
You can't, can you? I mean, and what I would say as well, one person who definitely can't see is the referee. He's just got a bad view of it and he can't be sure. I think it was a bit controversial, that one, to be honest, Matt.
Yeah, we're not convinced, but the ref was, which is probably more pertinent. OK, we'll take a short break, after which we'll focus on the rest of the afternoon games and, of course, what happened here at Crabble with Halifax, the visitors, to Dover Athletic. All of that to come before we're done. Welcome back to highlights from the National League, as it will be for the month of October, the Vanarama National League, as the division offers its support for the month to Prostate Cancer UK. If you want to know more about the work of the charity, do visit the website btsport.com/National League. Our next stop is here, Crabble, home, of course, of Dover Athletic, for the visit of FC Halifax Town. Two teams going pretty well, watched by Adam Virgo and Adam Summerson.
Good ball for Cameron King. Show Silva. Waiting in the box. Oh, he squeezed it in. What a lovely finish from Cameron King.
Well, Dover's problem this season has been caught on the counter-attack and being really open. You can clearly see here the number of Halifax players getting forward, but King in acres of space there on the left-hand side. Squares up Simpson nicely. Great little change of feet there. And walking in goal, should you be beaten at your near post? I don't think so.
Long it goes up towards Effiong, who's done well. Brilliant! Well, that was fantastic centre-forward play. He made the chance for himself with his persistence and his determination and his physicality.
You favoured the two centre-halves of Halifax to win this one. Young is a player that just doesn't give up on anything. He'll be disappointed with that finish there because he's done so well to get on the end of it.
There's one of those long balls towards Young. Modeste, was he clipped there? Oh, it's gone the other way. Oh, he's been shown a yellow card for simulation.
I think he does clip him. I think that Vicky Modeste certainly has a case here. He's nowhere near the ball. For me, that's a penalty.
Nicely worked by Dover. Rigg, he was caught there after he played it, and it's Legoul, who's supported by Taylor. Nice play again by Legoul. What a difference he's making. Legoul's cross. Oh, what a difference Legoul has made since coming on at half-time.
He's been excellent. Only 16 minutes into this second half. He's been Dover's best player by a million miles. Great little change of feet there. Leyden goes short and gets turned far too easily. It makes that run across the near post, but just can't get the quality to direct that towards goal.
It's Reason, and it's a good save. He must have seen that late, Johnson.
It's a good save from him, and he gets a good hand on it to parry it away from the goal. I think for Dover, first half they were pretty poor. Second half, they've been a lot better, but they've been able to find the back of the net. I think the Ghouls come on and made a massive difference, but they need to be more consistent at home. They can't afford to be like this, that hot and cold. That's been a massive problem.
Cameron King has scored a second. Oh, what a goal that is. And that'll seal the points. There's no doubt now.
I don't really know what to say about this goal. Just a hit and hope outside of the boot. Walking in the goal, not too sure where he is. Positioning's pretty poor. Well, I'll be looking at the goalkeeper again.
Pete, congratulations. Good to get 3 points again today.
Yeah, really pleased after the sucker punch of midweek to get back on it and to go and get what I thought we deserved. We had to withstand a lot of pressure second half, but one thing these lads do can defend their own box well, and they've done that tonight, and we've come away with what I believe we deserve. Yeah,
you managed to withstand a bit of pressure there at the beginning of the second half. How pleased are you with the defence?
Yeah, defence have been very strong all year, and teams, everybody thinks to beat Halifax, you just got to boom it and put us under pressure, and we've shown tonight that we can withstand pressure, and we've shown that we can go and score goals at the end, which really pleases me.
Well, Andy, lots of pressure there in the second half, but still couldn't quite find our way through.
No, I think we lost the game in the first half, didn't we? We didn't turn up first half. It wasn't us, and for some reason at home, that's been the case. And you know, we need to address that. I mean, if we're going to finish where we feel we want to finish, we need to address our home form because we can't keep relying on our away form. So disappointing night. They're a good side, Halifax, as you say. Second half, if we'd have scored early, maybe the game had been a little bit different, but it wasn't to be. But no, very disappointing tonight.
And he looked it at the end, Hess, but actually the difference in a very good first half and over the piece was probably young player Cameron King. Bit of quality.
Yes, it was. He looked the sort of player that could get into a pocket and make things happen and get at people. And as we talked about, they were defending quite narrow on the counter, the home side.
Yeah.
But he just didn't show him wide. Just show him wide, show him the line. Don't let him cut back inside. It's brilliant from Cameron King, I've got to say. But obviously, keeper commits, and he'll be disappointed with that.
Yeah.
And this one, Matt, well, I have to say, it's absolutely magnificent.
It is, isn't it? Premier League game would be delighted with that.
Unbelievable. Because what he said is afterwards, he said, "Look, I've seen it. I tried it before because I saw the keeper was off his line. I know Vergs would probably doubt it. Mr. Misery say it was a fluke, but I think he meant it, and he deserved it. Best player on the pitch, brilliant goal."
Yeah. Okay. On we go with 3 more games, starting with a team that many of us tipped to do great things this season. It hasn't really happened thus far for John Sheridan and Chesterfield.
An eventful contest at the Proact Stadium between second from bottom Chesterfield and Aldershot, who started the weekend in 20th. Shawan Jalal could only save into the path of Ethan Chislett, who made certain of the visitors' 12th-minute lead. 6 minutes before half-time, Chesterfield were level. Liam Mandeville crossing for Scott Bowden's 6th goal of the season. 7 minutes into the second half, goalkeeper Jalal presented Aldershot with the opportunity to retake the lead by bringing down Shamir Mullings. But on a day of failures from the spot, Harry Panayotou missed the target completely. The Spyrites made their guests pay just 4 minutes later. Liam Mandeville with an accomplished finish for just his second of the campaign. Just past the hour mark, the shots came close to an equaliser. Jacob Berkeley-Ajipong striking the post. But Chesterfield saw out the remaining half an hour for back-to-back victories at home. Eastleigh welcomed Hartlepool with the two clubs level on points in the table. Jim Torre had scored for Sutton on his last visit to the Silver Lake Stadium back in January, and with his new club he found the net again with a lovely run and finish for his 6th goal of the season with just 12 minutes played. Early in the second half, the home side earned a penalty. Rob Atkinson brought down by fellow defender Aaron Cunningham. But striker Ben Williamson, with just 1 goal this campaign, remained stuck on that number as Ben Killip saved the spot kick. Instead, Eastleigh would have to wait until the 72nd minute for an equaliser through Danny Hollands. These two teams couldn't be separated on the pitch either. First ever league meeting between two sides with contrasting starts to the season. Dagenham amongst the playoff places, denied in the second half as Matthew Irwin kept out Joe Quigley. Bottom of the table Chorley, with just 1 win all season, earned a penalty when Luke Kroll fouled Natumba Masanka and was shown a second yellow for his troubles. Unfortunately for the luckless Magpies, Courtney Meppen-Walters saw his spot kick saved and Chorley stays stuck to the foot of the league.
Well, what a win for Chesterfield, Chris. Missed penalty, and then 4 minutes later, probably should have been fouled on the edge of the box. Liam Mandeville, he's not, and he goes on to score what turns out to be the winner.
Well, sometimes you need that as a manager. You need a little bit of luck, and it should even itself out during the season. But I'm pleased because under pressure manager, a lot of expectation, and a really, really big win for him.
No, 2 on the bounce at home, which who knows in 3, 4, 5 months' time what that might mean.
Yeah, there's some good players there. There's some good players, experienced players. It's a good squad. You know, crowd can get behind them. It's a sleeping giant. Yeah. All of these adjectives that we can use. But I think these key wins, when it might have been the other way, are so important. Absolutely. And coming Monday through the week, different atmosphere around that club.
Yeah, and we know they do second half of the season pretty well,
absolutely,
Chesterfield. Certainly
absolutely.
Last season's anything to judge by.
That's
so we shall see. Excellent win for them. Sadly, obviously not the case for Aldershot and Danny Searle. So all of that means that Bromley are top despite today's defeat. In the end, their unbeaten run. A point clear of Halifax, who we saw win here, and the informed Yeovil, Woking, Dagenham and Dover and Barrow, currently the top 7 sides in the Vanarama National League. So the wins for Chesterfield and indeed for Wrexham under the caretaking care of Brian Flynn. Chesterfield still in the bottom 4, Wrexham just out of it as things stand. Harrogate Ebbsfleet next weekend, followed by the highlights. Thanks as always to Mr. Hargreaves. We are done here in Dover. See you next week.